Police car light parents think it's healthy, but it's secretly reprogramming your kids' brains. Flushed face, you've seen those cute, colorful, educational videos singing veggies, happy workouts, fun wellness tips. But what if I told you some of this so-called healthy content is actually manipulating your child's psychology, shaping eating habits, attention spans, and even self-image without you realizing it? Brain collision, this isn't just YouTube fluff. It's a digital experiment on an entire generation, disguised as fun. Let's pull back the curtain on the dark side of kids' healthy content and expose what they don't want you to know. Eyes, fire #Dr. Mike style #health myth buster. The illusion of healthy. Start with a shocking truth bomb. Not everything labeled healthy is actually good for your child. Break down how fun health content often hides misinformation, oversimplifies nutrition, and creates unrealistic body or food expectations for kids. You ever notice how everything marketed to kids these days has that magical word healthy slapped on it? Smoothie cartoons, veggie dance videos, fun fitness songs. It all looks like it's designed to help kids make better choices. But here's the thing, not everything labeled healthy actually is. In fact, some of it can be pretty misleading. A lot of this content oversimplifies complex topics like nutrition, exercise, and wellness into quick, flashy sound bites. Eat this, not that. Sugar is evil. Carbs make you fat. It might seem harmless, but kids don't have the critical thinking skills yet to separate fact from hype. When everything is boiled down to black and white rules, they start forming rigid beliefs about food, body image, and even self-worth. And it's not just the message, it's the presentation. These videos are engineered to be addictive, vibrant colors, exaggerated emotions, upbeat music. All crafted to grab attention, not teach nuance. The result, kids remember the feeling of fun more than the actual message. So when a video says something like junk food makes you lazy, that emotional link sticks. The next time they reach for a snack, guilt kicks in. We're basically allowing algorithms, not experts, to define what healthy means to our children. And when that definition is filtered through entertainment, it stops being education. It becomes influence. If we're not careful, the next generation won't just grow up misinformed about health. They'll grow up confused about it. The psychology trap reveal how bright colors, catchy songs, and reward loops trigger dopamine hits, hooking kids like a video game, not educating them. Explain how this rewires attention spans and emotional regulation. Let's talk about how this so-called healthy content is designed to keep kids hooked. It's not an accident, it's psychology in action. These videos use the same tricks that social media and video games use to grab attention. Bright colors, catchy jingles, fast cuts, and exaggerated emotions. Every few seconds, something new flashes on the screen, rewarding the brain with little hits of dopamine. That's the same chemical that makes us feel pleasure, excitement, and motivation. Now, here's the catch. When kids get used to this kind of rapid stimulation, their brains start craving it. Real life activities like reading, eating slowly, or just playing outside start to feel boring in comparison. That's a big problem because healthy habits require patience, curiosity, and calm focus. The more time kids spend in these high-stimulation environments, the harder it becomes for them to engage with slower, more meaningful learning. And let's not forget, these videos are built for retention, not education. The creators want kids to watch longer, click more, and come back tomorrow. So they structure everything to keep them emotionally hooked. Cheerful voices, silly characters, and constant rewards. The brain starts to associate health with entertainment, not understanding. Over time, kids can develop what psychologists call attention fragmentation, where focus shifts constantly and depth of learning disappears. They might remember that a cartoon carrot sang about vitamins, but they won't understand why those vitamins matter. Hidden commercial agendas unmask how many of these educational channels are disguised marketing machines, promoting products, brands, or influencer personas under the guise of health advice. Here's where things get a little uncomfortable, because behind all those cute characters and cheerful health lessons, there's often a very adult motive: money. A lot of these so-called educational kids channels aren't run by educators or health professionals. They're built by marketing teams. Their goal isn't to teach your child how to live healthier. It's to build brand loyalty before a kid even understands what advertising is. Think about it: a singing smoothie that just happens to feature a certain brand of yogurt, a fitness video where the characters drink from bottles with visible logos, even a balanced snack episode that subtly pushes specific products. Kids absorb all of that subconsciously. They don't realize they're being marketed to, they just think their favorite animated friend loves that snack, so it must be good for them too. This is called stealth marketing, and it's incredibly effective. Because when the line between content and commercial disappears, kids stop questioning what they see. It's not an ad break. They think it's part of the story. The healthy message becomes the perfect disguise for selling something. And here's the scary part: these videos aren't regulated the same way traditional ads are. That means companies can blur ethics, push misleading claims, or oversimplify science, all while parents think their kids are watching something wholesome. So, what looks like innocent fun might actually be shaping preferences, habits, and even cravings. The moment a child believes a brand cares about their health, that brand has already won. The nutrition confusion exposes how mixed messages in kids' content, like sugar free means healthy, or all fat is bad. It distorts their understanding of real nutrition, leading to unhealthy habits early on. One of the biggest problems with this kind of content is how it completely confuses kids about what being healthy actually means. You'll see videos saying things like, sugar is poison, or never eat carbs, or if you want to be strong, you have to drink this smoothie every day. It sounds confident, it sounds simple, but it's not science. Kids start absorbing these black and white rules without context, and before long, their understanding of nutrition becomes a mix of fear and misinformation. They might start believing that one bad food can undo everything good they've eaten that day, or that healthy eating means cutting out entire food groups. I've even seen kids feel guilty about enjoying a piece of birthday cake because some cheerful cartoon told them sugar ruins their body. That's not education. That's confusion dressed up as wellness, and part of the issue is how these videos simplify everything for clicks. Superfoods, detox, clean eating, words that sound exciting but don't mean much without explanation. Real nutrition is about balance, variety, and moderation, but that doesn't trend as easily, so instead of teaching nuance, they teach extremes. When kids grow up hearing these mixed messages, they develop emotional relationships with food, seeing it as good or bad instead of just fuel. That mindset can follow them for years, leading to stress, body image issues, or even disordered eating. The mental health impact dive into the emotional side: comparisons, perfectionism, body image issues, and the pressure to be healthy all the time, even for kids who just want to be kids. There's another layer to all this that we don't talk about enough: the emotional toll. When kids constantly consume healthy content that celebrates perfect routines, perfect bodies, and perfect habits, it starts creating invisible pressure. They begin to think being healthy means never making mistakes, never eating something bad, and always being active or happy. But that's not realistic, that's not health, that's performance. Kids are still developing their sense of identity and self-worth. So when they're flooded with messages that glorify ideal behavior, they start measuring themselves against it. If a cartoon influencer wakes up early, drinks green juice, and runs 5 miles, suddenly a kid feels lazy for just wanting to play or eat a snack. It's subtle, but it builds over time: comparison, self-doubt, and guilt. What's even worse is that many of these videos use emotional manipulation disguised as motivation. They tell kids things like strong kids don't give up, or healthy kids always make good choices, phrases that sound empowering but can actually trigger shame when they can't live up to them. That shame doesn't just affect how kids eat or exercise, it shapes how they see themselves. Mental health and physical health are deeply connected, but when one is nurtured at the expense of the other, the balance collapses. True wellness isn't about perfection, it's about understanding, kindness, and growth. Kids need to learn that it's okay to rest, to make mistakes, to not have everything figured out. The fix, real health education, end with empowerment. Show parents and educators how to spot red flags, find evidence-based resources, and reclaim health education through real conversation and connection, not algorithms. So where do we go from here? If kids are surrounded by confusing, manipulative, or misleading healthy content, how do we protect them without isolating them from the digital world entirely? The answer isn't to pull the plug, it's to get involved. Kids don't need us to ban everything. They need us to guide them through it. That starts with awareness. Parents, teachers, and caregivers have to start asking better questions. Who's behind the content? What's their goal? Is this video teaching real science, or just selling an idea wrapped in bright colors and catchy music? When we take time to watch with our kids, even for a few minutes, we start noticing the subtle patterns they might miss, the exaggerated claims, the emotional hooks, the brand mentions hiding in plain sight. But the most powerful thing we can do is replace empty noise with real conversations. Talk to kids about how the body works, why balance matters, and how food, rest, and movement all connect. Show them that being healthy isn't about rules, it's about understanding themselves. The goal isn't to make them fear content, but to make them curious about it. And yes, there are great creators out there, people who use evidence, compassion, and storytelling to make real health education engaging. Let's amplify them. Let's reward the ones who teach, not just trend. At the end of the day, this isn't about blaming creators or shaming parents. It's about awareness. Our kids are growing up in a world where entertainment and education blur together, and sometimes what looks healthy can quietly do harm. The real challenge isn't keeping them away from screens, it's teaching them to think critically about what they see. Because when kids understand why something matters, not just what it says, that's when real learning and real health begin. So let's stop letting algorithms define wellness and start helping our kids define it for themselves.